I need to get help. I don't know why I did it. I've never thought about doing it before. Something just got in my head. I don't know why. I just wish it was a dream so I could wake up.
On the evening of March 24th, 2012, the life of Gretchen Crooks would change forever. Her then 13-year-old son would take a gun and shoot her 22 times. This is the story of Noah Crooks. On the evening of March 24th, 2012, Noah, who was 13 years old and an 8th grader at Osage Middle School, lived in rural Osage in Mitchell County. Iowa, of course, is known for being very rural, and the Crooks did live in a pretty rural area at the time. His mother, Gretchen, worked as a nurse at Mercy Hospital in Mason City, and she was studying to get her master's degree at the University of Iowa. Noah's father, William Crooks, worked at Cargill Kitchen Solutions in Mason City. William and Gretchen had been married for about 17 years. On this evening, William was at a work-related party away from the home when his son, Noah, would load a .22 caliber rifle upstairs. Noah would take that loaded rifle downstairs, where he saw his mother in the kitchen facing away from him. She had been making him dinner. Noah would return upstairs until his mother called him to say that dinner was ready. He would later tell a child psychiatrist that he couldn't shoot her at that moment because it would not be honorable to shoot his mother in the back. But when his mother called him to say dinner was ready, he would go back downstairs with the rifle in hand, and this time found his mother sitting on the living room sofa, studying. Noah would shoot her 22 times, murdering his own mother. At around 7:30 p.m., Noah sent his dad a text message. The message said, "Dad, this is Noah. I killed Mom accidentally. I regret it. Come home now, please." William thought that Noah was joking and replied, "Okay, just throw her in the grove. We will take care of her later." Noah would call 911 and told the dispatcher, "I killed my mom with my .22. He would admit that he shot her with about 20 rounds. Noah would also make another startling confession. He would say, I tried to rape her. I didn't do it. I tried to rape her. I couldn't do it." He would then tell the dispatcher about his concerns about the future. He would go on to say, "I'm never going to be able to marry. I'm never going to be able to get a good job now because it'll be on my resume. I mean, I'll barely be able to get a job like McDonald's. I mean, I had plans of going to Michigan State University to get an engineering job, making my own car company. That's all down the drain now." A deputy was dispatched to the Crooks residence, and when he knocked on the front door, Noah would answer the door while he was still on the phone with the dispatcher. The deputy would ask Noah where his mother was. Noah would say that his mother was in the living room and that the gun was on a chair. The deputy would tell Noah to sit on the porch while he entered the home. Unfortunately, the deputy found Gretchen slouched on the couch, and he could see bullet holes in her chest. He also noted that Gretchen's pajama top was unbuttoned and she was naked from the waist down. The deputy did confirm that Gretchen was dead. The deputy would call William to tell him that there had been an accident in his home and that he needed to get there ASAP. William would race home from that work-related party, and when he arrived, he was told that his wife of 17 years was dead, and even worse, his son had shot her. Noah Crooks would be charged with first-degree murder and assault with intent to commit sexual abuse. The reason that Noah would go on to kill and attempt to sexually assault his 37-year-old mother was because she had taken away his Call of Duty video game. She didn't do this to be mean to Noah, of course. He had gotten bad grades in school, and apparently this made him snap. When the deputy did arrest Noah, he would make note that the teenager wasn't crying, and he didn't appear to have any sort of emotion over the fact that he had just murdered his own mother. And not only did he murder her, he confessed to trying to rape his mother. William would later say during his son's trial that he was mostly the disciplinary and that they kind of had a stormy relationship, him and Noah, but he still loved his son. He'd also say that Gretchen and Noah would fight often, but they would later make up and play games together. And Gretchen had been the one to buy him that .22 caliber rifle as a present in 2010. William would also admit that Noah had once stated that he wanted to kill his mother, but William didn't take the threat seriously.
Here, Noah threatened to kill Gretchen.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
I guess I didn't take it as a threat at the time, but yes. On a few occasions, he said that he wished she was dead and in the ditch. He would pull all the hair off his head, his eyebrows, his eyelashes, and he'd pull the hair off his legs.
How about his arms?
Yes, his arms too. Anywhere he had hair, he'd pull it out.
4 days later, after Noah was arrested, the state would file a delinquency petition alleging that Noah, age 13, committed the delinquent acts of first-degree murder and assault with intent to commit sexual abuse. The state would request that the juvenile court waive jurisdiction so that Noah could be tried as a youthful offender in adult court. The juvenile court would waive jurisdiction over Noah Crooks and transferred the case to the district court for Noah's prosecution as a youthful offender. His trial would begin on April 30th, 2013. And of course, Noah's lawyers would raise the defense of insanity and diminished responsibility. But on May 13th, the jury returned a verdict finding him guilty of murder in the second degree, but not guilty of assault with the intent to commit sexual abuse. The court would place him on youthful offender status. The juvenile court did transfer guardianship of Noah to the director of the Department of Human Services for placement at the State Training School in Eldora. Noah was under the supervision of the juvenile court until his 18th birthday. And the juvenile court did conduct yearly review hearings, and Noah remained at the State Training School. During this time, he would attend school and participate in mental health treatment. He would graduate from high school on May 29th, 2015. In April of 2016, the juvenile court filed a youthful offender report, and this was required by Iowa. The report did note that throughout his time at Eldora, Noah tried to avoid addressing why he killed his mother. It also noted that Noah's father did confront him about the murder, and Noah would just respond that he thought he would be better off without her. And here's the actual section from the report. During a recent family meeting on April 14th, 2016, with his father and counselors, Noah was asked again about why he killed his mother. He responded by saying, "I didn't think of the consequences. I didn't think anything would happen. I thought I would maybe get grounded." This question has been asked of Noah throughout his therapy time at the State Training School. Any answer Noah could give would not be an acceptable answer to his father and family members. The district court would order a pre-sentence investigation, and the PSI report recommended incarceration. The PSI would state, the defendant was 13 years of age when he shot and killed his mother. He will turn 18 on July 29, 2016. Prior to his arrest on the instant offense, he had no criminal history. He was involved in counseling with his family and was placed on psychotropic medication for a couple of years. There are reports he made comments to his peers at school about killing his mother, and it would appear he bullied other children from time to time. It is also noted he was cruel to animals and may have burned down his grandmother's home when he was about 5 or 6 years of age. These types of behaviors are disturbing for a child of his age. He admitted he was arrogant and stuck up and didn't really think anything bad was going to happen to him when he killed his mother. The defendant professes that he came from a good home and loved his family, yet he shot and killed his mother in their home. He stated that he was not angry at her and reported he was close to his mom. His behavior at the State Training School has been pretty unremarkable with a few minor violations. According to the defendant, he had no major behavioral issues at the training school because he knows the rules and doesn't want to suffer the consequences that would come as a result of negative choices that he made. He graduated from high school and he has dreams of attending college. The real concern is for public safety and how the defendant will conduct himself if allowed to return to society. No one can predict the future behavior of an individual with any certainty. He has been in an institutional setting since the age of 13 and has learned to follow the rules and modify his behavior in a structured setting. The concern is, will others be placed at risk and will he create more victims in the future? If the defendant could offer a plausible explanation for why he shot and killed his mother, that might offer some insight into his thoughts and actions that day, but he can give no explanation for why he did what he did. For the protection of society, it is recommended that the defendant be supervised at a higher level of supervision than what the community-based supervision can provide. In light of the above, it is respectfully recommended that the defendant be sentenced to a period of 45 years to the custody of the Director of the Department of Corrections. The district court held a hearing on May 6th to determine Noah's status after his 18th birthday. Noah would read a statement to the court during this time, and he mentioned groups that he had voluntarily joined at the State Training School, and he also expressed regret for taking his mother's life. He would apologize to the people he hurt, and several family members during this time would give impact statements. His uncle, which was Gretchen's brother, did request that he receive the maximum sentence, and his maternal grandmother emphasized that he doesn't have real empathy. And then Noah's father would speak. He would say, "For 4 years we never talked about Gretchen, not once. He never had any remorse about his mom. I'd push him. He just wanted her her out of his life because he can play video games. 4 years isn't long enough to pay for a wonderful woman who did so much at the hospital for all of us, who were all our rocks, what we had to rely on. He needs to pay for his mother's life. I know that's hard to say, but it's just what it is, kid. It's time for you to face the piper, I guess. And letting you out today would ruin so many more lives. It honestly would. The court would later determine that probation was not justified. They didn't believe that Noah was rehabilitated, and quite frankly, I think they're correct. They noted that not only was the crime something that they took in factor, of course, but they also looked at the fact that he had lack of emotion, lack of remorse, had no empathy, and clearly he had a lot of ground to cover with his therapy and healing. In my opinion, I really do feel like the court made the right decision. It is very clear that Noah has shown no remorse for the fact that he killed his mom. And during the 911 call, he was just so calm and collected, and all he thought about was his future. It's really scary that he didn't even kind of rationalize or realize that he had just shot his mother. And the fact that he stated he only thought he was going to get grounded for murder and attempted rape is just so bizarre. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this case. Did Iowa make the right decision by placing him in prison, or should he have been put on probation as a youthful offender? But that's it for today, guys. If you like this video or any other video on my channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so you never miss a video upload. I'll be back next week with another video, and I'll see you then.